What's up, guys? I'm Gaby Wilson for MTV News, and I'm here with Jidenna, who just released his debut album, The Chief. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I'm so excited to get it out. It's definitely a weight lifted off, so I feel great.
Yeah. Well, this has been like a big weekend for you, too, because you were also at the NBA All-Star Weekend. How was that?
Yeah, no, that was wild. You know, to be on stage with the legendary Roots, you know, I was like, what am I doing here, man?
Yeah.
But I was so honored to be a part of the age of greatness.
Evolution of greatness.
Yeah. And then just to be on stage with the Roots, man, it was great and it was a fun time.
Are you a basketball fan, too?
Yeah, I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah. Do you have a team?
Right now, it's tough, man. I've lived in so many cities.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta, the Bay, so I love the Warriors. I love the Celtics because I lived in Boston. I love the Nets. I lived in Brooklyn. Right now, my team currently is the Celtics.
Yeah?
I love Isaiah Thomas. He's 5'9". He's amazing. But I love the underdog story. So because he's so short, I look up to the guy.
Do you think that you'll become a Pelicans fan now that this Boogie Cousins stuff has just happened?
I know. It happened immediately, like the day of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt it, just because I'm loyal to the other places.
Yeah. But that must have been cool to be around that stuff, too.
Yeah, man. You know what's cool about All-Star Weekend is there was no ego, none that I saw. Sometimes you go to these award shows or these, like, big, events.
Industry,
and everybody's like, but nah, all the players were cool. Everybody who came to watch, everybody was super cool. So that was actually the best part of it.
It always seems like a really fun party.
Yeah, it was, man.
That's a good way to celebrate kicking off your debut album, though.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that title. What does The Chief mean to you?
Well, the chief comes from my father's actual title. He was a chief in a Nigerian village. My grandfather as well. But I always wanted to be a certain kind of man. I looked up to the chiefs that I see. The chief he's kind of a neighborhood politician. He's the plug. He's the party guy. He's at least my grandfather, who had 6 wives. I know. He can be the ladies' man in that case, but he's just a leader in the area, and so I always wanted to be that in my neighborhoods. So the chief is my highest self. That's like the highest man I can be. I don't always feel like that, but it's my quest for that.
It's kind of like, I forget what award show it was, but Matthew McConaughey said who his idol is, and it was like himself 10 years from now.
Yeah. I thought that was so clever.
Yeah.
I love that guy. The other thing about The Chief is that it shows my story as I'm traveling through so many worlds,
right.
2 continents, 4 cities, 2 coasts. In my short life, I've seen a few things. So The Chief is a soundtrack to traveling, really.
Right. And that's one of the things that stands out to me about the album, and I think a lot of people have picked up on that story too, is that you're able to seamlessly blend a lot of different genres and hop around from sound to sound, but it doesn't ever sound like, oh, this is my reggae moment, or this is my hip-hop moment, or whatever. How are you able to keep that balance?
I mean, it's how I feel in different settings, right? Like if you look at James Bond in Mexico, James Bond in Canada, James Bond in France, the music that's playing in the background is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
But he's still the same character.
Right.
So that's how I'm able to meander through it. I'm not much of a chameleon, but I am a sponge. So I'll kind of take in and absorb wherever I'm at, and then it'll come out as this one pot of stew.
I like that analogy, chameleon versus a sponge, because you're able to take in all of the things that you're experiencing, but filter it different ways.
Definitely, because chameleons, they'll impersonate and become whatever they're studying. But the sponge is just it's just a sponge.
Essentially itself.
Yeah,
still.
Exactly. Just soak it in for a moment, let it out.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I read in a past interview that you sort of meditated on a sentence when you were creating the album. What was that sentence again?
So I wanted the album, and tell me if you think I did it, and you can say no. I said I wanted the album to feel like a sacred, romantic, magic carpet ride driven by the Black or African James Bond and powered by Tesla. So I wanted to have that little electric feel.
Yeah.
I wanted it to have the kind of sleek, like swanky feel that James Bond and Man on a Mission has, but then to have the sacred and the romantic element. And a lot of people think romance is just love. To romanticize means to romanticize anything. So if you're in like a war moment, you got to feel like, oh, I'm a killer right now. Right. If you're in love, like, I'm all the way in love with you.
It's this like heightened sense of passion.
Exactly, passion. And that's. I'm so glad you said that, because in America, I remember this from Eat, Pray, Love, which is funny that I stood in line.
That's a
No,
nice
I
reference.
know. But Elizabeth Gilbert in the movie, I love it. I was standing in line with like a bunch of like.
You saw the movie?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
I see
was
the
in
headlines
line.
now. Jidenna, Eat, Pray, Love.
I loved it. I was at the book signing,
You were
Barnes and
midnight
Nobles,
showing?
and there was like, it was me and like 45, 55-year-old women, and I'm like the only dude looks like me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I can't wait for her to sign the book, because it shaped me. There's a moment in it where there's in the movie they actually capture it, and I'm paraphrasing, but the guy's like, you Americans, because he's trying to offer I think Elizabeth or an American counterpart a beer, and he's like, you Americans, you only know entertainment, but you don't know pleasure. And I would say the same thing. We only know entertainment, but we don't know passion.
Right.
Passion is like the spice of life.
Yeah, and entertainment has this sort of like passive quality, right? It's like you can be like movied at.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there was this dude, Bob Lefsetz. I'm on his email list, and he once said, and pardon this analogy, but he said, he's like, he's a baby boomer. He's like, your generation, all your music and your art sounds like it has a condom on it. He's like, in the 60s, we were free love, man. We were groovy, baby. We didn't even like condoms because we were trying to make love in the world. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that we have this like latex veil.
Like a sterilization.
Yeah, he's like, everything's all clean and like.
Though for the record, condoms cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is not, this is not that kind of thing. But I think what the metaphor meant was like, in art, you have to be raw.
Yeah.
In sex, keep it on.
So we're in front of a green screen right now, but I've asked, and I didn't actually like pick out the things, but we're in front of like African prints because that's like a huge part of your aesthetic like just everything that you are about and you embody. There's a really great line in, I think it's...
Long Live the Chief?
Yes.
I don't want my best dressed day in a casket.
My God, you're reading my mind. Yeah. So I love that line, and this is sort of not related as much, but there's a great Tracy Morgan line from 30 Rock where he's like, dress every day like you're going to get murdered in those clothes.
Wow.
Which is like somewhat related.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the same. Or similar.
Different, similar. Same principle.
Yeah,
his is
more violent and morbid than mine. But definitely, no, I'm glad that the Ankara African prints are there. Interesting thing about what we call African prints, the ones that I wear are called Ankara a lot. But Ankara, if you remember from news headlines, I think a year ago, is a city in Turkey. So it's actually, a lot of the prints come from Turkey, Indonesia, elsewhere, China, but we call them African prints because the way Africans wear it.
Yeah. There's actually, I don't know, you probably don't keep up with the Supreme drops, but there's like a new Supreme lookbook. The one with the Obama like Ghana trip.
No.
So there's a new one on now I'm like talking about myself, but there's a Supreme lookbook that has this hoodie that is made of like, it's similar to the Ankara prints, but it's the print that was made for Obama's visit to Ghana.
Oh, wow.
But then they like take out Ankara and they put in Supreme in it.
Oh, wow.
You should check it out after this. We'll talk about it later. But I just wanted to talk about like how you got into like that dandy style and why it appeals to you.
It was a combination of three things. My father passed and he used to wear three-piece suits, and he also walked with a cane because he was an old man. Two, I was broke, and if you're broke and you're hip, you go to thrift shops. You know, as Macklemore would tell you. So you go, and then, but you know, a lot of those suits were really baggy, and I wanted to taper it in like the skinny jeans that I had, right? So I would go to a tailor and spend a few bucks just tailoring, and it became a thing. And the third was just, I was looking out and I saw this emerging movement. I was in Brooklyn at the time, and there was this kind of black dandy renaissance. There's an exhibit called Dandelion that hits on black dandies around the world, from Brooklyn to Brazzaville, Congo. So I wanted to be a part of that redefining of masculinity, and especially of black men in this country. I do not think it has to do with only dress, and I'm not like, don't wear T-shirts and jeans. I wear them too. I'm gonna wear them this year. And don't say I didn't tell you, because I've worn T-shirts longer than I've worn suits. I've worn snapbacks and sneakers longer than I've worn dress shoes. But I don't want people to start saying, "Oh, he changing on us. He changing."
Well, I think a lot of people probably know you best from Classic Man.
Yeah.
But that's not on the album, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm a little disappointed about is that the remix, the Moonlight remix, isn't
yeah.
on there. Like,
Me too,
I wish that
actually.
it was about. Wait.
Yeah. No, I'm
Why
disappointed
you too?
I didn't get it in time. I wanted to get it, and I didn't reach out, and so it's my fault. But I think I don't even want to perform the regular version anymore. If I could perform that version, that
so
one is
good.
cold as hard.
How did that come about?
Oh my God, they hit me up, and you know, Janelle Monáe, of course.
Wonderland.
Yeah, the leader of the mothership. She was killing it, and during, I think, you know, some scene, apparently the director, producer was like, "Yo, I want to put Classic Man in the movie." Originally, it was another song that's on my album, Helicopters.
Oh.
And then they said, "No, you know, we're gonna go with Classic Man." I was definitely skeptical, but I didn't know they were going to chop and screw it and then put it in the scenes that they put it.
Such a pivotal
so
scene.
pivotal.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was honored, man. And the cool thing about it is that movie is about redefining masculinity, right? As it pertains to, you know, men, but also sexuality. Classic Man is also a redefinition of masculinity. You know, not just in the image of a suit, but in walking with dignity. And the dignity, I feel like, to a certain degree, we've lost a little bit, because, you know, words don't mean anything. I can say something on Twitter today and say something else tomorrow, thanks to the president. But you know, I think that these kind of parallels are what made Moonlight and Classic Man a great marriage.
Totally. Do you get to go with them to the Oscars because of that, or?
Man, say that louder, because I ain't
Janelle.
seen my ticket yet. No, I'm gonna be around. I'll be in LA.
Nice.
Definitely. So I'm hoping. I'm praying. Got a lot of friends that are up for this, and I'm really praying one of them wins.
Nice. Do you happen? I know this is like asking you to pick between your children, but do you have like a favorite track off the album?
Yeah, I do actually. I got two favorite children.
Yeah.
and it varies from time to time. One we just happened to release recently, which is Bambi.
Yes.
That's
Beautiful.
yeah. Like when that came through, I was like, all right, thanks God. Like me, I get to be the name of this, because that's how songs work. I don't look like, even though you think you're writing it, it's like a tornado that passes by. And you know, I'm imagining I'm Dorothy in Kansas. The tornado passes by with inspiration, and you gotta grab it in time. So Bambi, but Bully of the Earth, the last track. It was the last record. I made that on New Year's Eve. And I made it in reference to bullies I had in my life, my father who felt like a bully, the president who feels like a bully of the earth. I wanted to make a song that kind of had all those bullies together, and I would talk to them. And you realize that this bully of the earth is just a man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. I remember Bob Marley said something. He said, the biggest man you ever saw
we get an impression too.
was once a baby. Right?
Yeah.
The biggest. Look at all of us.
Wow.
All little babies.
Donald Trump was once a baby.
That one's easy. He's like the easiest one to tell. But everybody you think is all big, you be the bouncer right there. That dude was like a little, with his legs on.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that record a lot, and it still hits me. Still hits me to
That's
this
really
day.
great. Yeah, I think it tapers nicely from like the penultimate track too.
Hey.
Why do you think that was so important to make?
I wanted to summarize. This is probably the nerd in me. I wanted to summarize the album, like, you know, your conclusion sentence and paragraph, and so I was able to kind of tell the story of the album through the first, and I wanted to have 2 movements. Me and Nana Kwabena, who I worked on the entire record with, amazing producer. We wanted to synthesize this with Andrew Horowitz, Sonny Digital, Nick. We all kind of came together and made this hip-hop piece and then this soul piece and merged them together. So that merger of emotions and feelings is just like, it's magic when that comes together. So that was one of like my favorite tapestries to weave.
Yeah, that's really good. Any other videos coming up down the pipeline? You were like teasing helicopters. And
we got Bambi. Bambi's about to come. After that, we have small vignettes, trailers, or teasers, if you will, of each record.
So that's what's going on.
Yeah, we want to redefine the visual album.
Yeah.
I don't, and this is nothing against anybody else. I think Beyonce did an exceptional job. Like probably the best visual album that I've seen. But I wanted to redefine it. My team said, hey, why don't we just make smaller pieces of visuals that people can play? Right now we have it on Instagram. We may release longer segments of them, but instead of saying, hey, everybody, I deserve an hour of your life.
Right.
Like, I'm not, like, Beyonce definitely deserves an hour of my time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not at that time.
Beyonce deserves, like, 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, she can make 20, I'm going to watch it. Me, I was like, I'm not that important. Definitely not. I don't.
Well, that's very humble.
I'm just serious.
Sure.
I don't want to watch an hour of my life. Like,
well, I thought that the album, I feel like, I don't know how old this article was that I read, but there were talks that you would drop it with a documentary, or like BBC would do a documentary.
Yeah. We ended up not working with BBC, worked with Trace a little bit, and we worked with Sony. So we have some documentaries in the works. Cool. We're doing something with Spotify. We have a few people that are following, documenting our journey. And I went to Nigeria, South Africa, and London a couple months ago, and we documented that trip. It was great. So there's some footage on the Instagram of me going to Lagos and having that like boom aye moment.
Yeah.
So it was really dope, and I'm excited to share more of my life and more of what happens behind the closed doors. I was a little nervous at first. I'm a private guy. I don't really want you to know everything. But,
right, sure.
But, private is the new public, right?
Yeah.
So here we are.
Well, anything before I let you go coming up next that you want to plug?
Well, I'll just say that I'm super juiced about Janelle Monáe and the surge in her career right now.
Yeah.
She's, I'm like, this is my home. This is my homegirl. This is my sister. That's the label exec. That's like my production creative partner. So to see her 10 years ago when we did a show in Oakland, and first time in California doing a show, we doing a show together. And now look at her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, from that to the Women's March, like, just the whole journey with her has been amazing. So I want to plug her. Janelle Monáe deserves it. She deserves everything that's coming to her. And this is just the start. I already know what new movie she's looking at. I'm not going to say, but it's going to be an epic time for her and for Wonderland Records, for Fear and Fancy, for myself. And the last thing I'll say is The Chief is available now on iTunes. Cop it or spin it 1,500 times on the platform of your choice, because that's how many times you got to spin it for me to get a sale. And it's actually not about money for me. It's about when you buy an album and you spin and stream and put this person, this woman or man or anybody in between's life in your ears, you're actually changing your behavior. You're changing the world. You're changing your perspective. So I guarantee, if you buy this and you live with it, you're creating a world where women have equal pay. You're creating a world where immigrants are not banned, where immigrants are actually celebrated, because 99% of us, if you go back a few hundred years, are immigrants in this country. You're creating a world where humanity, we believe in it and it's respected. You're creating a world where passion is celebrated, and it's not like you're too cool to dance and too cool to touch each other. It's not that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So that's what I put into. I prayed on every song, and I care deeply and believe in humanity. And I'll rise if you help me rise and represent you. And I know I'm going like a politician, but that's because politicians always make me do this for them. I'll be like, I want you to vote, and I'm Jidenna. Well, shoot. I said,
what do I want you to do?
Hey, I want you to vote for me. I want a politician. I've done this for y'all. Can you do it for me? Because if you do it for me, we're doing it for us. I guarantee it. I put my life on it.
And it's worth it. It's a really good album.
Yeah, and it's fun as fact, man. Shit, man. It's fun, man. So it's a good time. Party and ponder all day.
Sweet. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.
Hell yeah.
Bye.